Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I'll be talking about Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol, and give my death predictions for Season 2 of the show, and I think these will be pretty accurate, just because we know so much about Season 2 and Season 3. I think we can easily say who is going to survive and who will die in Season 2. So let's jump right into this with Daryl Dixon himself, 100% safe. The show is named after him. Daryl cannot die. And Carol herself, 100% safe. She's now also got her name in the title, and we know that her and Daryl are both going to be in Season 3, so they are 100% safe. Next, LaRon. He can't die because he is so important to Daryl's character development. He is also 100% safe. And by extension, Isabel, she's 100% safe too, because just like LaRon, she is important for the development of Daryl Dixon. She cannot die. Those four characters all are 100% safe and will be in Season 3 and beyond for Daryl Dixon. And now moving on to the extended cast, Sylvie, and she was really a nothing character in Season 1, so I'm really gonna say she's just a maybe. I cannot say, oh, I'm confident she's gonna survive. I am confident she will not be in Season 3, so she's either gonna die in Season 2 or be a maybe and just kind of have an ending in Season 2. That's what I think is gonna happen, but her boyfriend Emil, 100% gonna die. He is a background character to a background character. He will be there to just add the deaths, to raise the suspense. He will not survive the events of Season 2, so Emil 100% is going to die. And moving on to Falou, I think he's a maybe, just because I can see him surviving the events of Season 2, but just having a happy ending, or having an ending which ends a lot like Sylvie, so he isn't in Season 3. But I can also see him dying, just because with the Big Four being 100% safe, we need the villains to feel like a threat. We have this extended cast, start to kill them off. Their story ends this season, they have no purpose. So he could be this big character to die, he's a semi-big character. So he could have this big death, this big battle near the end of the season, and be one of the casualties there, just to make the villains feel like a threat. So it really does work for his story, but I do see them being like, okay, Falou can just be this leader that's left behind in France when our characters go off to Spain. So it's really hard what to say for Falou, so I'm going to put him as a maybe. 50% chance of surviving, 50% chance of dying. And moving on next to Caudron, and 100% going to die. Season 2 will be his redemption arc, and I think by the end of the season he will sacrifice himself to save Daryl, Carol, and that group. So Caudron is probably the biggest character to die in Season 2, or the biggest good guy, shall I say, to die, because he's definitely not a villain in Season 2. We can see his stance with Madame Genet by the end of the season, and how he's treated in the trailers. Caudron is definitely going to die in the second season. Moving on to the villains, Madame Genet, gonna die. We know now that Season 1 and 2 are one story and 3 and 4 are a different story. She will not be carried over to Season 3 and not be the overarching villain of Daryl Dixon like I originally thought. So Madame Genet and her arc will end in episode 6, so she will definitely die, and I definitely think she will be killed by Daryl or Caudron in maybe a sacrifice, or even killed by her own creations, the variant walkers. So Madame Genet 100% gonna die by the end of this season. And moving on to Dr. Lafleur, and he's 100% going to die by his variants, I think. That's even if he is in Season 2, he's in none of the trailers. I haven't heard anything about him, but even if he is in the season, he will 100% die. And moving on to Lasong, he is the leader of the Nest, 100% going to die. I believe the Nest will fall at some point, so he will die probably early on in the season when the Nest falls, and that will scatter everyone across France and why they have to go back to Paris in Season 2. So he ain't going to make it out this season. Next, Anna, she is safe. We know she'll be in Season 2 because we can see her in the trailer. She's now the leader, or the owner of the nightclub, should I say. I don't think she'll get in any fights herself. She probably will join Daryl's faction and send men after, but I don't think she will do much. She'll just kind of be a character that characters come over and talk to every once in a while, and not be any danger herself, so 100% she is safe. And now lastly, Ash. He will be a new character introduced at the start of Season 2 and be the reason Carol gets over to France. I 100% believe he will die, because if he survives, there is no going to Spain for 2 seasons. He has to die so the characters are stuck in Europe. So Ash is not going to make it out. I think he'll probably die in the first few episodes, or even die in the final episode just as they're trying to fly away and they're like, okay, now we have to find a new way to get home. And that is my death predictions. So please tell me down below, what are your death predictions? Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? And do you think I missed any small characters out there? But this is it for me today, so goodbye, peace out, and I'll talk to you later.